I'm a gangster, as you see. I guess that you can say that I'm your average street brother from the CPT. Compton pisses many brothers off. Is it because we're the gangsters and we toss suckers to the curb? Cause if you say the wrong word, like the N-word, a nigga, cause I serve.
Man, before we get into this track, I must let you all know that the legend Tweety Bird himself passed away of a heart attack last month. I myself was shocked when I found this out, as I just found out while writing this script. Tweet was definitely one of the illest, and his music definitely molded me into the man I am today. I can talk all day about the dent Tweet left in the rap game, but I'll save that for another video. Just know that Tweet is about to be a regular in this series, as he has an endless amount of diss tracks. He probably has the most diss tracks out of any other rapper, and the track we're going to be touching on today comes from a neighborhood beef between two guys who were once close friends. Both Easy and Tweety Bird grew up in the same neighborhood, which was a Crip neighborhood affiliated with the Kelly Park Compton Crips. During this time, both Easy and Tweety would do all they could to survive in this neighborhood, as it was very dangerous. And in the late 80s, one of these guys' life would definitely change for the good. Eazy-E would fund studio time for local rappers and producers who would eventually come together and call themselves NWA.
Yo, Ren.
What's up?
Tell them where you from.
Straight out of Compton. Another crazy ass nigga. When punks I smoke, yo, my rep gets big.
Eazy-E would also start up a record label called Ruthless Records, in which NWA's manager Jerry Herler co-managed. As Eazy and NWA were blowing up, Tweed thought it would be obvious for Eazy to sign him to his label, as they were really close friends in the neighborhood. But while in an interview, Eazy lets the interviewer know that he has no intention of signing Tweety Bird, and when Tweed found out about this, he released a diss track on his debut album 187 Ride By called What's Going On. On this track, Tweed asked the question of how did Eazy let a white Jew dictate his every move when considering on who he should sign or not.
I guess the bitch had an idea to play a crew and deal with the Jew. 40 G's in the hands of a white man. Trusted in him before you think about your own clan. So companies out to sow at a high level. Go grab a shovel cause the nigga made a deal with the devil.
He also lets listeners know that Eazy is a complete sellout, as he forgot about all his true homies that looked out after him while he was in the hood. He also tries to give Eazy advice on his finances, as he has to pay a lot of child support.
You better keep clocking dollars cause you gotta pay child support. It ain't my fault the hoes are getting you for your riches, but you shouldn't have babies by 20 different bitches.
He then goes at MC Ren, informing listeners that he was never a real killer, and that he also looked up to Tweety in the hood.
MC Ren is a fictional character. Ain't that a bitch? Punk, you ain't no ruthless villain. Your ass a lie, you ain't never did a killing. Always talking kill this and kill that on the microphone, but couldn't bust a grape with razor blade shoes on.
He then attacks Yella and Dre for being in the world-class wrecking crew, and he also says that Dre is a punk for beating up women.
I remember the days of old, when Yella and Dre was just like Prince wearing pantyhose. Dre beat up on women like D, but I dare your punk ass to run up on me.
He even goes further with the disrespect, making fun of the DOC getting into a serious car crash that almost took his life.
So what's up with you, deal to the seat? I heard you got fucked up when you ran into a tree.
And to end it off, he throws more shots at Michelle A, Tim Dog, and D Nice.
To Michelle A with that fucked up voice. Shouts out to Tim Dog, I like how you punk that crew, but you diss my city, so you. And to you, D Nice. Fuck around, and I'll be doing 25.
This track is most definitely underrated, as it's just raw and uncut, just like all the rest of Tweed's diss tracks.
Now you can call it what you want, but I'ma call it how I see it. Open bulk, you better believe it, baby, and just maybe you'll get next to this.
The year 1994 was definitely the breaking point for MC Hammer, as he was heavily criticized by his rap peers all through the 90s. In 1990, MC Hammer will release his most successful album, Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em. The album sold over 10 million copies, and it will also change the landscape of hip-hop as well, as hip-hop started becoming more pop. Many rap artists didn't like this transition, and they oftentimes spoke out about it in their music. One example being Q-Tip on the popular A Tribe Called Quest track, Check the Rhyme.
Proper, what you say, Hammer? Proper. Rap is not pop, if you call it that, then stop.
This is a reference to a Pepsi commercial that MC Hammer did, in which Hammer says proper.
Proper.
Since Hammer appeared in this commercial, many rappers were under the impression that Hammer sold out to the mainstream, or in simpler terms, he went pop. And since Hammer's drinking pop, Q-Tip uses clever wordplay to infuse soda pop with the music genre pop, and says that he isn't down with that. Redman also took a jab at MC Hammer, but in a more joking way instead of a diss. This comes from his debut album, What the Album, on a skit called Funky Uncles. On this skit, Redman pretends to be an angry uncle poking fun at Hammer's music. There was also a rapper rapper that had a personal issue with Hammer, and that rapper being MC Search from the rap group Third Base. Their issue was also dated back before Hammer's album Please Don't Hurt Him, which basically means that Hammer wasn't quite yet the pop sensation he would become to be. Search says his beef with Hammer started when Hammer dissed Run DMC for them saying that they were the kings of rap. He also said that there was also a brief altercation he had with Hammer where he challenged him to a freestyle dance battle. Hammer told Search to F off as he drove away in his caddy. This led to Search dissing Hammer in a song called Gas Face from Third Base. Gas Face is a classic record about telling listeners to make the gas face when questionable rappers, rivals, and racists are present. In the music video, Third Base mocks MC Hammer by turning him into a giant hammer with shades. Run DMC is also present here, and they all just completely disrespect Hammer.
What do we think about Hammer?
Hammer literally kept all this bottled up for about 5 years until he dropped his 5th studio album, The Funky Headhunter. On a track called Break 'Em Off Something Proper, Hammer goes completely ham on all his rivals. As soon as the track starts, he attacks Q-Tip and A Tribe Called Quest by flipping Q-Tip's line and Check the Rhyme, where he says, "What you say, Hammer?" in which Hammer responds by saying he's about to break them off something proper.
What you say, Hammer?
We about to break 'em off something proper.
Too Big MC also appears on the track, in which he also warns anyone not to diss Hammer, as Hammer would drop them in a heartbeat. The notorious Suge Knight also comes and drops a bar, telling Hammer's foes he'll execute them like death row.
You all about as Woody or Jeffro. For you we have no use, so we gonna execute you like death row.
Hammer then goes to call all his enemies girls, and he goes on to address Redman, MC Search, and Run DMC. This definitely got to be one of the most underrated diss tracks of all time, and trust me, this isn't the last time you're gonna see Hammer in this series.
Redman gonna put him on a whole strong. Q-Tip gonna put him on a whole strong. Search couldn't sell on a whole strong.
Hey yo, the world gonna show me some love, listen. And I'm not talking about the fake hugs and kissing. In 15 years, a lot of love is missing.
Probably the most underrated diss track from one of the most underrated rappers of all time. Before I get into the diss track at hand, I must say that I've been an Ace fan ever since I heard the album A Long Hot Summer. This album is hands down one of the best storytelling albums in existence, and his album Slaughterhouse is also one of my favorite conscious albums. But with all that being said, let's talk about this extremely classic obscure diss track. Before we get into it, I have to talk about what led up to this track. Back in 1995, Ace would release his 3rd studio album Sitting on Chrome with a collaborative crew named the Master Ace Incorporated crew. Upon this album's release, Ace would quickly have a falling out with the Master Ace Incorporated members, leading to the crew ultimately breaking up. After this, Ace would disappear from the rap scene for 5 years, only to record a few tracks here and there. One track he recorded in particular was a track called Ghetto Like, in which is a track about how the ghetto influenced him to become the man he is today.
M.A. I ride these tracks with no pedals and whole metal. Since I was born, I've been so ghetto. I grew up in the projects called Howard, and if you ran from a fight, you was a coward and got devoured.
Little did Ace know, another local rapper had a song with a similar name and concept as well. The rapper was named BOOGIEMAN, and the name of his song was called Ghetto Love.
This is banana pudding. This is your grandmother cooking. This is sneak and kiss the girl when you think nobody looking. This is summertime on the court showing your skills. As soon as it get hot, somebody bring out the grill.
BOOGIEMAN quickly came to the conclusion that Master Ace jacked this song, which led to him releasing a diss track called Just You Wait. On this diss track, BOOGIEMAN says that Ace is a thief for stealing his song concept, and that Ace is nothing more but an old washed up rapper with a dying career.
Pause, you could've came to me. Dude, I done gave you 16. You ain't have to do the same song about the same thing. What you in here? Ask around, son. What I bite is tight. They call me CPR, cause I could bring your career back to life.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, BOOGIEMAN's diss track is pretty fire, but when Ace responded with Acknowledge, it was instantly over for BOOGIEMAN. On this diss track, Ace talks about how BOOGIEMAN looked up to him, and also that no one in the hood has never heard of him.
Yeah, I heard of the Boogeyman when I was a youth. Scary. Then I found out that he was as fake as a tooth fairy.
He then disses the producers of Boogie's diss track and how he jacked 50's flow. Master Ace also disses a rap group named High and Mighty that Ace thought dissed him in a rap line saying that they listened to his music in their Jewish slaughterhouse, which referenced Ace's Conscious album that I mentioned previously. Before Acknowledge was released, Ace and High and Mighty cleared everything up, as they simply said that they were only paying homage to Ace. With the track already being completed, Ace couldn't change it, which led to the diss still being there. But minus all that, he dismantled those boys as well.
One thing, who named y'all the High and the Mighty? To me, y'all just sound like a couple of high whiteys.
Soon after Boogieman and Ace released their diss tracks, they would then battle rap each other in front of a live audience to see who's really the best. It's pretty clear that Boogie got the best of Ace during this battle, but many claim that Boogie didn't actually freestyle like Ace did, which led to many siding with Ace. But in my opinion, freestyles can also be written, so I'll gladly give the victory to Boogieman. But all in all, the two shook hands at the end, and the chapter was closed, and Acknowledge is definitely one of the most obscure diss tracks of all time.